Hi, in this video, I want to talk a little bit about the host layers and the media layers. This will make more sense as we go on through this course, like a lot of things, right? Okay, so here we have a host that is sending information to another host. Okay, so we have a host here and a host here. The host will, in this case, encapsulate the data, the application, transport layer, IP layer, or network layer, the IP header, data link layer, etc. Okay, so as you can see here, the host will be encapsulating using all the different layers of, in this case, we'll refer to the OSI or TCP/IP model, but using all the layers. The receiving host will decapsulate all the information using all the layers in whichever model we're referring to. So these two top layers here, you notice, are just referenced by the sender and the receiver. These are known as the host layers. Okay, because they're only really referenced typically by, again, the sender and the receiver, the two hosts in this case. These two down here we call the network layer and data link layer, and ultimately the physical layer. These are all these are known as the media layers. And the reason for this, it's actually only these layers here are referenced by the routers as the information is forwarded along the path. This will make more sense in a moment. But looking at this slide, notice that the data link layer here, the data link header, it actually, when it's received by the router, gets removed by the router. The IP information will be examined. We'll look at this in the next slide here. And a new data link header will be encapsulated into the IP packet as it's sent on its way. Again, let's take a look at this using another slide here. Okay, so here we have the data being encapsulated by the sender. Okay, in this case here, it has an HTTP header, a TCP header, and an IP header. So this constitutes the IP packet. Okay, as it goes out the network interface card, it gets encapsulated in a data link header and trailer. This is what we'll learn more about later, is the actual protocol used here is dependent upon the network interface card and the type of medium it's being sent over. Could be Ethernet, could be 802.11 wireless, could be some sort of serial point-to-point encapsulation. We'll learn more about these later. Okay, so because this packet is being sent to a device on a remote network, it gets sent to a router. In this case, it's known as the default gateway in this case. The router receives this data link frame with the data link header and trailer and actually removes the data link header and trailer. It will examine the information in the IP header, specifically the destination IP address, determine where it needs to send it next. In this case, it's going to send it to another router. So it encapsulates it in a new data link header and trailer specifically for transmission between this router and the next router. The data link header and trailer, they're only good for NIC card, network interface card, to network interface card on the same network. So that gets transmitted to the next router. And again, the data link header and trailer is only good for NIC card to NIC card, network interface card to network interface card on the same network. So this router receives this data link frame, removes the data link header, again, examines the destination IP address in the IP header, determines that it needs to send it to another router, encapsulates it in a data link header and trailer for the medium between these two routers, and forwards it on its way. This router receives the data link frame, removes the data link header and trailer, again, looks at the destination IP address in the IP packet, determines, hey, this device is on one of its networks. The destination IP address belongs to one of its networks. So it encapsulates it in a data link header and a data link trailer, commonly Ethernet when it goes actually out to the end device, and sends it to the end destination here. The end destination receives it, looks at the data link header and trailer, examines some information, makes sure that information is for this device. We'll learn more about each one of these protocols and what it does later, but it goes ahead and removes the data link header and trailer, passes it up to the IP process. The IP process in this device then examines some information in the IP header, like making sure that the destination IP address matches itself, removes the IP header, and then passes it up to the TCP process. The TCP process examines some information in the header, and we'll talk more about TCP later. And then when it's done, it hands it up to the HTTP process, okay, who eventually hands off the data to, let's say, the browser in this case. Okay. So I hope this gives you a little bit of concept between the difference between the host layers, okay, and these are the layers that are specifically looked at by the hosts, TCP, the transport layer and the application layer, and then the media layers. These were the ones that were used by each router along the way. Again, the network header, IP, destination IP address was used to send it, to know where to send it as it crosses networks. The data link header and trailer are only used for NIC card to NIC card communications on the same network. This will become more clear to you as we talk about each one of these in later videos. Okay? All right, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.